What if the small silver coin you dismissed as worthless pocket change could actually fund your entire year's expenses? Right now, as you watch this video, there are George V threepence coins from 1925 to 1942 sitting in forgotten collections that savvy numismatists would pay absolutely staggering amounts to acquire. These tiny pieces of British colonial history, no bigger than your thumbnail, have reached auction prices that would make even experienced collectors gasp in disbelief. Some varieties, in the right condition, have sold for enough money to buy a brand new motorcycle, cover medical bills, or completely transform someone's financial situation in a single transaction. Between 1925 and 1942, the British Empire minted threepence coins bearing the profile of King George V, and these diminutive silver pieces circulated throughout territories spanning the globe. South Africa, as part of the Commonwealth, used these coins extensively in everyday commerce. Workers received them as wages, merchants used them for change, children clutched them for sweets. The coins passed through millions of hands, traveling from Cape Town to Johannesburg, from mining towns to coastal cities, accumulating the wear and patina that tells their story. But within this massive production run spanning nearly 2 decades, certain dates, certain mints, certain variations have become so incredibly rare in high grades that finding one is like winning a lottery most people don't even know exists. The portrait of George V on these coins represents craftsmanship from an era when minting was considered an art form demanding exceptional skill. Look closely at the detail in the king's beard, the texture of his military uniform, the precise lettering encircling his profile. These weren't mass-produced tokens. They were created using techniques that required master engravers to hand-cut dies with microscopic precision. The reverse side typically features the denomination within a wreath, or decorative design that varies depending on the specific year and minting location. Each design element carries meaning, history, and artistic intention that elevates these coins beyond mere currency into the realm of miniature sculpture. Now here's the secret that separates knowledgeable collectors from casual observers who throw away fortunes without realizing it. Within the 1925 to 1942 period, certain years are exponentially rarer than others. Production numbers varied wildly based on economic conditions, wartime demands, and colonial requirements. Some years saw millions of threepence coins struck, while others produced only tens of thousands. A common date in average condition might be worth $10 or $15 based purely on silver content. But a key date in uncirculated condition, graded by professional services and certified authentic, can command prices in the thousands. The difference between these extremes comes down to knowledge that most people simply don't possess. The 1932 threepence stands out as particularly fascinating within this series. Economic depression gripped the world, minting operations were reduced, and survival rates for coins in pristine condition dropped dramatically as economic necessity meant every coin got used hard. Finding a 1932 threepence in mint state condition is extraordinarily difficult, and when one appears at auction, serious collectors compete ferociously to acquire it. Similar stories attach to other specific dates where historical circumstances created scarcity that drives modern values to shocking heights. The 1926 has varieties that command premium prices. The 1935 Silver Jubilee year has special significance that collectors prize. Each year tells its own story. Silver content gives these coins baseline precious metal value that fluctuates with global markets, but understanding this is only the first step toward recognizing truly valuable pieces. These threepence coins contain actual sterling silver, the same quality used in fine jewelry and silverware. When silver prices spike, every coin becomes more valuable automatically. But numismatic value operates on entirely different principles that can dwarf metal value by factors of 10, 20, or even 50 times. A coin worth $5 for its silver might be worth $500 to the right collector based on condition, rarity, and demand. Grading makes the difference between modest value and life-changing money when dealing with coins from this era. Professional grading services employ experts who examine coins under high-powered magnification, assessing every microscopic detail of preservation. They look for original mint luster, the subtle shine that untouched coins retain. They check for bag marks from coins striking each other during storage at the mint. They examine edge reading for wear. They scrutinize surfaces for cleaning, polishing, or environmental damage. A coin graded MS-64 might be worth $300, while the same coin graded MS-67 could sell for $3,000. That 3-point difference represents the boundary between nice and extraordinary, between collectible and investment-grade material. What most people never consider is provenance, the documented history of ownership that can multiply values dramatically. A 3-pence coin that belonged to a famous collector came from a shipwreck, or has documentation connecting it to historical events, becomes infinitely more desirable than even a technically superior example without such history. Auction houses have sold coins with exceptional provenance for multiples of what identical pieces without documentation achieved. The story matters as much as the metal, and collectors will pay premium prices for coins with compelling narratives. Error coins from this period represent another category where values explode into territory that seems impossible until you see actual auction results. Minting errors occurred despite quality control. Efforts, and these mistakes, create unique pieces that cannot be replicated. Double strikes show ghostly second images overlapping the primary design. Off-center strikes display designs shifted dramatically from their intended position. Die cracks create raised lines across the coin's surface. Wrong planchet errors occur when 3-pence designs get struck on blanks intended for different denominations. These errors, authenticated and certified, become trophy pieces that wealthy collectors compete to own, regardless of price. The condition census concept drives values for the finest known examples to stratospheric levels. For any given date and variety, a registry exists, tracking the highest graded specimens. Being in the top 5 or top 10 finest known examples of a particular coin creates prestige and value that transcends normal market dynamics. Collectors building world-class collections specifically hunt census-quality pieces, and when one becomes available, they'll pay whatever necessary to acquire it. This creates a market tier where normal pricing doesn't apply, and auction results shock even experienced numismatists. Storage disasters have destroyed countless potentially valuable coins over the decades, turning what could have been treasures into damaged examples worth only bullion value. Improper storage in damp environments creates green corrosion that eats into silver surfaces. Storage in PVC plastic holders releases chemicals causing permanent damage. Exposure to sulfur in the air creates toning that ranges from attractive to devastating depending on severity and color. Cleaning coins with abrasives strips away original surfaces and destroys numismatic value instantly. The coins that survived in pristine condition did so because someone, whether through knowledge or luck, stored them properly in stable environments using appropriate materials. The global marketplace for British colonial coinage has expanded dramatically as collectors from new economic powerhouses enter the field. Wealthy individuals from Asia, the Middle East, and Eastern Europe are building comprehensive collections of Commonwealth coins, creating demand that didn't exist 20 years ago. This expanded collector base competes for the same finite supply of high-grade material, pushing prices higher year after year. What sold for $500 a decade ago might bring $2,000 today simply because more serious collectors are competing for the same scarce pieces. Authentication technology has revolutionized the rare coin market, providing security for buyers while confirming values for sellers. Modern grading services use spectroscopic analysis to verify metal composition. ensuring coins contain the correct silver content and aren't base metal fakes. High-resolution imaging creates permanent records of each coin's unique characteristics, making counterfeiting nearly impossible to accomplish successfully. X-ray fluorescence testing confirms authenticity non-destructively. These technologies protect the market's integrity and allow collectors to buy with confidence, supporting higher prices for certified authentic material. The educational curve for new collectors has never been more accessible, creating opportunities for anyone willing to invest time learning about these fascinating coins. Online resources provide access to auction archives showing actual prices realized for specific dates and grades. Forums connect collectors globally, allowing knowledge sharing and mentorship. Reference books detail every variety, every mint mark, every known error. This democratization of information means that discovering valuable coins isn't limited to professionals anymore. Anyone can learn to recognize the key dates, understand grading standards, and identify the characteristics that signal serious value. Historical context adds layers of meaning that make these coins more than just collectibles. The 1925 to 1942 period encompasses the final years of George V's reign, the abdication crisis of Edward VIII, the beginning of George VI's reign, and the outbreak of World War II. Each coin circulated during these monumental events, passing through the hands of people living through history. The 1936 coins circulated during the year 3 different monarchs sat on the British throne. The 1939 to 1942 issues were minted during wartime when metal was precious and every resource was rationed. These historical connections resonate with collectors who value tangible links to the past. Market timing influences values in ways that create opportunities for informed collectors while punishing those who don't understand cycles. Precious metal prices rise and fall based on economic uncertainty, inflation fears, and currency fluctuations. When silver surges, interest in silver coins increases, bringing new buyers into the market. When economic conditions favor collectibles over traditional investments, numismatic premiums expand. Understanding these cycles allows strategic buying during quiet periods and selling during peaks, maximizing returns for those who approach collecting as both passion and investment. The psychology of collecting drives behavior that seems irrational to outsiders but makes perfect sense within the hobby. Collectors will pay enormous premiums to complete sets, to upgrade existing pieces by a single grading point, or to acquire the finest known example of a particular variety. This psychological component creates price support at levels that pure financial analysis can't explain. The emotional satisfaction of ownership, the prestige of possessing rare material, the competitive drive to build superior collections all contribute to market dynamics that sustain high values. Here's what you need to do immediately if you have access to old coins from this period. First, examine every 3-pence carefully under magnification, checking dates and looking for unusual characteristics. Second, never clean anything regardless of how dirty it appears, as original surfaces are infinitely more valuable than cleaned ones. Third, store coins properly in non-PVC holders within stable environments. Fourth, research key dates and varieties to understand what makes certain pieces valuable. Fifth, consider professional grading for anything that appears to be in exceptional condition. These steps could mean the difference between discarding a fortune and recognizing a life-changing discovery. The adventure of coin collecting offers rewards beyond financial gain. The thrill of research, the satisfaction of building knowledge, the community of fellow enthusiasts, and the tangible connection to history all enrich life in ways that transcend money. But when that knowledge leads to discovering a genuinely rare and valuable piece, when you realize that small silver coin is worth serious money, the combination of intellectual satisfaction and financial reward is absolutely intoxicating. If this revelation about George V 3-pence coins has opened your eyes to possibilities you never imagined. If you're now looking at old coins with fresh perspective and excitement, then you absolutely must subscribe to this channel right now. We uncover hidden treasures and reveal secrets about valuable coins that most people walk past every single day. Smash that like button because it helps this critical information reach others who deserve to know what their coins might really be worth. Share this video immediately with anyone you know who has old coins, because you could literally be helping them discover a fortune they didn't know existed. Your next great discovery is waiting, but only if you stay informed and connected. Subscribe, like, and share now. The treasure hunt begins the moment you take action, and the next shocking discovery we reveal could be exactly what you've been searching for your entire life.